Mr Chairman.
I call the Honourable Minister Paula Bennett.
Mr Chairman, I actually stand up to speak about the Children's Commission, which I want to really stand up at this point and say thank you to the work of Dr John Angus, who has actually been an outstanding commissioner for 2 years. His focus been a lot on social work, which is his background, on best practice, which was a key focus for him. And I also want to thank him particularly for some of the work he did in some of the youth justice facilities. I'm not sure that people always recognise the extent of responsibility that the actual Children's Commission actually have. So they actually have a statutory responsibility. They are a place where parents can go for independent advice and advocacy. They're also a place that holds child, youth and family to account if parents need another avenue to go to. They also visit all youth justice and care and protection facilities and look at the practice there and take any complaints. And I want to particularly thank John Angus for the work that he's done with some of our practices within youth justice. I personally asked him to do an inquiry at one stage when I was concerned around some of the gender mixing in some of those facilities, and he went in there and I felt the advice he gave was incredibly sound, and we've actually picked up the recommendations that he gave, and I think the practice that we have in our youth justice facilities is a lot in part to the work that he has done in the last 2.5 years. So this is my opportunity to put my thanks on record. It's also my opportunity to welcome a new commissioner who will be coming in a few weeks' time, and that is Dr Russell Wills, who of course is a working paediatrician in Napier Hospital there, and he's going to bring another dimension to the Commission, which I think is really, really important, because I do think you need to sort of mix it up a little bit and have different commissioners that bring a different focus, because it needs, so I think the office itself should run in an incredibly steady and a very, I know it's sort of it's not under a chief executive, actually it's under a general manager, but the practice is pretty good on a day-to-day basis, but I think a different commissioner can bring a different view, and I think that's a strength to it and something I really wanted to bring. Mr Chairman, we did just hear a bit of a I don't know, it felt like an absolute buck pass on the Families Commission. So, I mean, what we really saw was it be sort of a baby of a previous commissioner who now sits in this House as a Member of Parliament. He stood up and gave perhaps one of the most abysmal, sort of sanctimonious sort of claptrap on why he thinks the Families Commission is not currently working, with nothing actually behind it, and I actually found it kind of shameful. I think that the Families Commission, in their respects, are doing the best they can with the legislation that they have currently got. They are very much focused on families and making sure that we have some of that kind of research and evaluation that goes behind it, and hearing those voices of families instead of the kind of I always remember that one of the great pieces of work by a previous Families Commissioner was that, and this will be enlightening to the whole House I'm sure, which was that fathers in prison do not father as well as those that are out of prison. That actually took a number of months and months of research. It was actually done, and it was, one of those more enlightening pieces of research that I'm sure the previous speaker is incredibly proud of, and something that I'm sure he sort of takes to real heart. So, I mean, it doesn't come to a great surprise to me that actually now they've decided they are going to bag the Families Commission, because it is time actually that the members stood up and said sorry actually for being a previous Families Commissioner, doing such an abysmal job, such a waste of taxpayers' money, where he should actually be ashamed of what he's done for all of those years. And I actually would be quite open to him taking another call and apologising to New Zealanders for some of the shocking research that came out in his time. Mr Speaker, I can actually mention some where we saw months and months, in fact one piece of research where they did for over a year, and their qualitative research that they did, they actually spoke to 28 people. And from that they were able to devise actually something that had no substance to it and was not helpful at all to New Zealanders. So, Mr Chairman, I stand up here right now and I thank the Children's Commission. Since I have been the Minister, I put another $500,000 into that commission, because I think the Children's Commission actually holds us to account. Its focus is directly on children. It is a statutory responsibility as well, and I certainly want to put on record my sincere thanks to them for the work they do, and the work that I know they're going to continue to do on behalf of children.
Just before I put the question, I just want to remind members that this debate includes not only the Children's Commissioner but also the Families Commissioner. Okay. The question is that the report of the Social Services Committee on the 2009-2010 financial review of Children's Commissioner be noted. All those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that the report of the Social Services Committee on the 2009-2010 financial review of Children's Commissioner be noted. Those of that opinion, please say aye. Sorry, should have been Families Commission. Let me do that again. That the report of the Social Service Committee on the 2009-2010 financial review of the Families Commission be noted. Those of that opinion, please say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, the next entity I